Hi, my name is Tenforce, and I'm going to be explaining my process and kind of how I do wood burning or pyrography. So wood burning is about time on the wood. That's how you get a darker mark as you do it slower. So you'll see I'm not putting much pressure on the wood. That is a newbie mistake that a lot of people do. It will make your lines blobby. What I'm doing is I am moving these things in little circles and I'm basically filling in. So that's how I fill in black, is I do little circles and I just fill the area in. You'll see me with some sandpaper blocks. I use that to clean the carbon off my tips, and you can also use it as an eraser of sorts when you make your graphite marks on your wood. Another thing I'd like to talk to y'all about is personal safety. So I have an RSI injury on my elbow, and this can tear up my elbow, so I have to make sure I wear an elbow brace. Just be aware when you're doing this to take frequent breaks and to not grip the burner too tightly, because that will also help a lot. So I'm going to finish outlining all the dark squares. And then I decide that I need a break from burning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the design in the middle. And this is for my husband. So he wants his coat of arms for our SCA group. Now what I use is graphite transfer paper. You can find this on Amazon or any art supply store. It is different from carbon paper. A lot of people use carbon paper because they can get it at like Office Depot or Walmart or something. But the problem is that carbon on wood will cause blobs and a big mess. If you've ever seen a wood burning that has a lot of black stuff around it, they probably use carbon paper as their transfer. So this is graphite, same thing that's in pencils, which is why you can do pencil perfectly fine on wood, and you'll see me do that in a little bit. You can cut it to size, and you can use it probably 4 or 5 times before all the graphite's off of it, so that's why I have a lot of scraps. I will tell you now that me and this masking tape did not get along on this project, so I'm just letting you know. I always tape things down separately because it reduces slippage. So I'll tape the graphite paper to the wood, and you want to make sure to kind of have a light touch with it. If you put too much pressure on the graphite paper, it will start transferring. Told you I had some trouble with this masking tape. So I do not recommend taping over the lines like I'm about to do, because it makes the transfer hard. You have to push down harder on the paper and it's easier to mess up. But I'm not using this whole design, and that's the only reason that I'm taping over my design. Normally I leave a little bit of extra room. I always use a color pen or pencil to trace so I can see where I was. This is especially true for more complicated designs. All I'm copying down here are the sun and the moon pattern and the color divisions. Sorry, my camera was having a little bit of focus issues there. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to work on the battlements, and you can see kind of my creative process here. Because I'm going to start by freehanding, and I'm going to realize that in order to look consistent, that is not going to work. I have done this particular device before, several times actually, and on straight lines it's easy for me to freehand and have it look even, but I kind of discover on the round that is not the case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get a ruler, and I'm going to mark it out. So I'm marking on 1 and 2 centimeter lines. Again, you can use sandpaper as an eraser on the wood just fine, or you can use a higher quality art eraser. Don't use the one on the end of the pencil. Now it's much easier for me to get that consistent distance. And I'm not even going to draw the battlements out to begin. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my baseline, and I'm going to use that to do the battlements. We're going to start speeding things up here again in a minute. Once I get into the groove of it, I get it done pretty fast. So that's the kind of eraser I'm talking about. It's an artist eraser. You can probably get these good quality erasers at Office Depot or somewhere like that. Now you can see the pencil mark is a lot darker than the graphite transfer paper was, but that doesn't matter in the long run because once you burn over it, it's gone. The only difference between graphite and carbon is graphite does not leave a residue behind. So here I'm starting, and I'm going to just outline, and then I'm going to go back and fill in. Now I skipped the line on the white moon, and that is because I have to make sure I get the white line on the black moon correct first. So what I'm doing here is I'm leaving a small void. Remember, you can always burn darker, but you cannot burn lighter. So you can kind of see that line barely. I basically did 2 moon shapes and left a void in the middle, and now I'm filling in those 2 moon shapes. And when it's finished, you'll be able to barely see the white line. There we go. So I'm just going to clean that up, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the black line onto the white moon. I decided here that I would like to do the inside logo of the chessboard a little bit lighter than the squares. So what I do to make it lighter is I go faster. Remember, wood burning is time spent, not pressure. So instead of pushing lighter, I push with the same speed, I push with the same pressure, I just adjust my speed. And then all I'm going to do here is I'm going to finish up these last little squares. But you can kind of see this is a basic project. It took a lot of setup. The chessboard took a lot of setup to get the proportions correct, and obviously the logo. I do plan on making more of these videos. If you like the process, I'm pretty soft-spoken, and I like to sit in silence a lot of the times, but if you would like a different kind of style, or you want more explanation on something, feel free to ask questions in the comments and I'll get back to you. Or I'd like to make other videos like this, kind of where I do one from start to finish, or a more complicated project, because this is pretty basic. I'm really new to this too, so if you have any suggestions on recording videos or doing voiceover work or anything else about the style and quality of my videos, I'd like you to give me a comment below. Now for the last bit, you want to do any cleanup, mark any pencil marks, and sign it. So once again, I hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to see more, just subscribe or give me a like, and let me know what you think.